in your ear. This is no other than the Remix Morning Show. This is Black Power Media, yo. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor, and we got a whole lot of dopeness here for you this morning. But let's start off with our host. We got no other than Burn It Down Kim and Lucretia Williams.
Ooh, what's up?
Good morning.
What's up? Y'all you recognize that track, Kim?
I didn't. I mean, but part of me was like represent, but I'm like, that's not represent. What was that?
That was Onyx. That was nigga bridges falling down. Listen. I don't know if people out there know about Onyx, but Onyx is like that hip hop rock and roll group that came out in the early 90s.
Listen, it was only dudes that I knew had Back the Fuck Up, the album, right? I knew no chicks who had the Onyx album.
It was a boys club album. It was definitely a boys club. You had mosh pits going on at hip hop concerts with Onyx. Crazy.
Onyx.
Lucretia, we can't hear you. What's going on here? Let's see.
Hello.
There we
Okay.
go.
Hello.
You knocked them finals out? You good?
No, finals are starting.
Mm.
Are starting this week and next week, and then semester's over. So, yay!
What are you going for here, Lucretia? You're going to be a theologian?
Yeah, I'm still thinking. I think I want to be a chaplain, maybe in the hospital or maybe at movement events or things like that.
What's the difference? Chaplain and theologian? Whatever.
Well, I think usually more so a theologian is someone who spends a lot of time, contemplating aspects of theology, which I do like to do as well. But I think
pondering.
Yeah, you're like writing and you're talking about it. You're engaging with other theologians doing that. Yeah.
Lucretia ponders. Go on.
I do ponder.
Let's say that title there.
It's a series, Ear Doctor. It's a series.
I might go into the theologian route in a minute. I'm teaching right now.
We'll talk.
Hey, let's do that. I got a little knowledge. How was your weekend, Kim?
It was going fine until yesterday.
Uh-oh. Sorry about
all
that.
Sophisticated over there. Tell us. Do tell.
I thought I was at an age where I would not have to be experiencing just certain things that women experience. And this ain't even bombing up. Men ain't got nothing to do with what the fuck I'm about to say. So all the fellas, y'all can exhale and relax. Okay. y'all safe for the moment.
Thank you.
Y'all safe for the moment. So I go to get my quarterly blowout, trim, whatever. This lady done cut off like 6 to 8 inches of my hair without asking, without telling me. So as you see, I have a haircut that I did not ask for, nor was I expecting. And I lost sleep over this last night.
What?
Like I was very angry. And I'm gonna ask her for a refund. I've never asked a hairstylist for a refund ever in my life, dog. And I'm gonna hit this lady and be like, you need to run me my money back. Because you didn't do what I asked, and you did a lot. you did things that I didn't ask. And it's like, as a woman, you experience this over the course of your lifetime. Usually more so as a young, but you sometimes you will go to a stylist and they'll either be scissor happy or they'll do a color or some sort of service that you don't like, you're not satisfied with. And usually you just gotta eat that shit. You know what I'm saying? You usually gotta eat that shit. And I'm like, no. I'm 400 years old out here. No, I'm too old to still be dealing with this shit.
Well, Kim, I must say you look beautiful. It looks
Ear
nice.
Doctor, what I tell you about the flattery? I'm a Leo. That shit will work. Knock it off. Cut it out. Like,
I mean, it looks nice. I even said before you said, I was like looking all sophisticated. I see you over there.
I'm so angry. I don't even know how mad. I'm gonna wash this shit out. Maybe after we get off the air, we going.
You going back to the blowout?
This is the blowout. That's the point. This is what makes it.
That's the blowout. It's laid right now.
Oh God! And that's the thing. It's like if you're gonna cut it, can you cut it cute? Like my shit had no bounce, it had no lift, it had no movement. I'm like, she just gave me this flat helmet.
She gave you, yeah, 3rd grade, yeah. Like, short, just kind of.
Look, you see it, Lucretia. And I paid money for this. I'm furious.
Oh man. I
Mhm.
mean, when they messed me up, it would be the hairline at the top, and you really couldn't do nothing about it but wear a hat. And if you couldn't wear a hat, it was just you get joked on all day.
Yeah.
At
My
least you're
partner
not
and
getting
I
joked
got that,
on.
yeah. We're in the same spot because we both have short hair, and they're like, "Are you sure you want your hair cut short? You're a woman." And I'm like, "Nope, shave it. Fade it.
Wow.
Fade it." Yeah, but
Wow. You don't
I have to
realize
fight
that.
it.
Yeah, good to see your face, the nape of your neck.
Oh,
That's what I
no,
like to see.
Lucretia's beautiful face.
I
Yes,
like
yes.
to see the
Oh,
nape of the
stop.
nape of a woman's neck. So when they do have the
Interesting.
shortcuts and stuff like that.
Wrists and
Yeah.
ankles as well.
Ankles?
You do that wrist test, the ankle
Nice
test.
wrist.
Yes, I'm on my Ray Charles. Speaking of Ray Charles,
Oh,
let's give it up for no other than who is this guy's name? Kamal K. Franklin.
Hey, Franklin.
there you go.
Ooh, Kim, you got a
See?
lot died and laid to the
You missed the
side.
story. You
I
missed the
like
story.
it. I like
See?
it. And it's
course
good on
you
you.
would.
Not
Come
bad.
on.
Not bad.
Come
It's not bad at all. It's not bad at
Come
all.
It's
Where's-
not bad at all.
Where's your mic at, Kamal?
Excellent question.
It's not bad at all. Is that better? Is that better? It's not bad at all.
He
Okay.
talks louder.
I hate when people do that. They're like, how does this sound now?
It sounds like you yelling.
My bad.
No, Kamal. No, this is not what I asked for. This is not what I wanted to have happened to
That's
to
not
my
what you
hair.
wanted to have happen, and that's what they gave you? Oh.
Yeah.
This
We
is
got
Sam.
dogs on the
Hi,
show
Sam.
now.
I don't know why this dog is not left yet. Now the dog is in love with me. She never leaves me alone. Why do I? Okay, question. Girl dogs, are they not supposed? Are they supposed to be humping? This dog humps.
Is your dog neutered
I have no
or
idea.
spayed?
I have no idea. I know the dog will get up on its legs, its hind legs, wrap itself around my leg, and start making some motions. So I'm like, I don't. Are you a they dog? Are you a they dog? What's happening
You
here?
got to get the pronoun right. You better
I was
get it
like, the
right.
dog is humping my leg, but it's a girl dog. So I thought
Yes.
that wasn't. Is that? Am I?
Girls
So
get it into,
I think that's a bit of a
Thanks,
claiming
yeah.
behavior. I think the dog is trying to claim you. Like, no, this mine. He mine. He
It's
was
my
me.
bitch. It's my bitch.
Right.
I get it. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, and I think that might be right because the dog definitely.
Turning
Yeah.
around looking at it again like, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think there's truth in that. I think there's truth.
Where did this
Yo.
dog come from?
I didn't know you
Kamal?
had a dog.
Right.
No, it's a new dog. It's a neighbor, not an old neighbor's dog. We're testing out the idea of getting a dog for the kids.
Too
So we
late.
said we would
You
dog
got
sit.
one now.
Well, last 4 days, but you know who's doing? Well, it's the
Still.
adults who are doing most of the walking,
Of course.
Mhm.
feeding,
Mhm.
the picking up of the poop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You always got to realize whenever you get a pet, it's your pet. The kids are just there to,
Play with it.
I've enjoyed. I've liked the early morning strolls and all that.
That's cute.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
It's
Nice.
known that dog owners have a longer life expectancy because they have
Really?
to be active with the dog. You have to
Mhm.
walk the dog, and pets are a good source of stress relief. When you come home and pet your
No.
dog, your cat, you feel a stress relief, and there is a mutual release of what's the feel good
Dopamine?
Endorphin.
I think it's either dopamine or
Dopamine.
serotonin. But they discovered that both the human and the animal experience this release of this feel good hormone
Mhm.
when the dog or the pet is being petted by the owner. So but it's money though. Just a heads up. I mean, I'm sure you know this, but like
So much money.
Yeah, y'all be taking dogs to like the vets for like surgeries and shit. I was like, that dog might die if I'm having to. I was like,
And then if you got a girl dog, they got a cycle. Like, listen,
really?
If they are spayed and neutered, or if they aren't spayed and neutered.
yes.
Yeah.
So the dog might literally be bleeding around the house.
Yeah.
Bruh, take that. Get rid of that.
I had
dog.
no idea of that. I had no idea.
Get rid of it.
I had
We're
no
teaching
idea.
our dog how to talk through buttons. It's really cool. So we press buttons, like we have buttons for downstairs, for eat. And so she tells us, so if she
And
needs to
she
eat,
can
presses the
press
eat
the button.
Yeah, there's research about this speech pathologist who was teaching her dog how to speak. So with buttons, and she makes whole sentences.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Put the cuss words in there.
Right?
I said I'm hungry. Crack open that
Yeah.
Alpo.
Well,
Take me out now.
my kids are going back to their homeland of Barbados for like a month. So guess who's dog sitting?
What kind of dog?
Pit bull.
All right. Boy or girl?
Girl.
How old is she?
In human life, about 3 years.
Okay. Oh, young dog still. Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
Active
yeah.
dog. You gotta walk that pit bull.
Oh yeah, the dog jumped out the 2-story window and was straight. I was like, oh my God, but they're so muscular. Like them dogs are all muscle.
This is your house that jumped out, or
So
so you've already let the dog? Oh, okay. I was going to say you've already let the dog jump out of a 2-story.
Oh
window.
no, not on my watch. Not on my watch. But
so the dog jumped out of a 2-story and it was all good.
And all good. Started running. Them dogs are all muscle, yo.
I mean, there are dogs that have jumped out of high distances.
I'm like the adult version of the dog.
Well,
Dog.
The human version of the dog.
What kind of dog do you have, Lucretia? What's your dog?
we don't know. She looks like a rat terrier, but she's
little
too
dog.
long, but she's so tall, so we don't know.
What's the dog's name?
Nina.
As in Nina Simone? Nina?
Yeah.
Nina. Okay.
Was that who she was named after, or I'm just throwing that in there?
No, that's who she was named after. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
You got a problem with that yet, Doctor?
Oh no. I was just
What's your dog's name? What's your dog's name?
Angel.
No.
Yeah, I know.
Angel.
Short for Angelica.
Is it?
She has a nickname.
Is she an angel though?
I mean, pretty much does.
Not if
nothing
she jumping out
all
of
the
second story window.
does nothing but sleep and eat and sit around. I was like, yo, this dog is like a prisoner. I mean, it just it looks sad. Like, damn, I wish I could go be around other dogs. I mean, do you realize that's what y'all are colonizers? Y'all are you're holding these animals in captive. They want to go see their people, and y'all like, nah, you stay with us. Y'all ever think about that?
Well, that is the domesticated dog, right? So the domesticated dog is a creation of man. Wasn't actual. They was wolves, right? So they wanted to go do wolf shit. So to your point, yeah, maybe, but the domesticated dog relies on humans for its care and survival.
Wow. That's what the white man said. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and take our first break right here, and come back with some more. Right here on the other, then let me get this right. The Remix Morning Show. We gonna train you niggas. What's good, everybody? What's good? Welcome out to the Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor, and yes, if you are new to the channel, please know that this is where you can hit the subscribe button at this time if you don't know about it. And also people that already know about it, hit that like button. If you want to be a member here, guess what? Go to patreon.com, look for Black Power Media, and you become a member. And you can see some stuff over there that you won't see here. All right, with that said, who am I going to talk about? Nobody, because I'm going to talk about the weather. So let's get right to it. The weather report right here, right now. All right, so let's start off at ATL. Y'all know it's like December. Yo, the weather was crazy this weekend. It was like mad warm, like in the 60s and everything, almost 70s here in Atlanta. Today is going to be 58 as a high. Let's take it next to DC. DC got a high of 48 degrees. Take it to the west, Midwest, Chicago, the Chi. They only getting to 40. So you can expect that up there. Take it down to Houston. They got a high of 71 degrees, which is a nice little something, Next, let's take it to Oakland, the west side. They got a high of 66 degrees. And if you're looking at traveling maybe for a little vacation, like maybe Durango, Mexico, they got a high that day of 69 degrees. And last but not least, going to the motherland, Dakar, Senegal. I like gal. Senegal. They got a high of 83 degrees. Now, that's pretty cool. I'll tell you what else is cool. The fact that I'm on the screen with somebody that gets awards for what they do. Yes, I'm talking about community movement builders getting an award. Let's see. This is for the Law for the People award given to community movement builders 2003, because they out here doing their thing for the people, struggle, and justice for liberation. So I got to give it up to community movement builders and my people right here on the screen, Kamal K. Franklin. So let's get to it and talk about it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Yeah.
I keep waiting for Redman to jump in.
Right.
Smooth shit. Get off that smooth shit.
Take heed to what I'm saying, because tonight's the night and me and my niggas ain't playing.
We gotta get Lucretia up to date here so she can join in.
Yeah, you know I don't know.
Redman is. You never heard of Redman?
I know who he is.
Yeah.
I just haven't listened to virtually
You are missing
anything
out.
that's not on
You
the
are
radio.
missing-
I
you're
know,
definitely
I
missing
know.
out.
Ask about
How
Ja
do I
Rule,
even
though.
know?
Now ask about Ja
Ja
Rule.
right? I know.
You know,
You really want them?
I wanted
Ja
to
Rule
marry
is your
Ja Rule. It
man?
was bad. No. This is 16-year-old Lucretia.
That's her era. That's her era.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
my era.
I feel so bad. I was trying, Lucretia. I was trying.
Sorry.
don't. The kids are gonna think this shit is great. No.
So
Sorry.
did Andre Dickens give you this award?
Oh shit.
Where's my award? Oh, wait a minute. Actually, they're going to do a ceremony tonight. So the National Lawyers Guild.
Let's see this right here.
There
Hey.
you go. So it's probably the first time I've ever been given an award for anything I've ever done. National Lawyers Guild gave us an award, but for the organization Law for the People Award, presented to community movement builders for extraordinary work in the struggle for justice and liberation 2023 Law for the People Awards. And I really do, as an organization, we really appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's cool to be obviously singled out for your work, particularly by an organization that has such a history of protecting and organizing with radical left groups. And so, yay.
Does it come with some
DMV.
money? Did it come with some
No,
money?
not a dime.
Oh, okay. Y'all got a nice plan.
Like they asked me to give money for like the book,
Wow.
the booklet and all that stuff. I was like, what? I'm not doing all that. Like you can't contact me for an award and be like, hey, can you also? It's like, no, I'm not doing all that. Like, thank you though for the award. I don't understand. I'm not down with that process.
Wonderful. Congratulations to community movement builders. Yes. Well deserved.
All right, so I gotta leave at 9.
Yo, wait a minute now. So,
Okay.
you okay?
Let
Are
me
you
school
okay? Burn it down. Burn it down. Are you okay?
I don't know. I don't like it when Ear Doctor leaves. Period.
So stop talking. So there's some buttons over here under banners or brand.
Brand.
Under brand, okay, and then that's you okay, Lucretia? Your face, you okay?
I'm fine. I'm so fine.
All right, just making sure. And then there's the I see buckwheat, I see BB, I see mass. Which one I got to press at the end?
All right, so here's what you do, man.
Yeah.
When you go under the video
Quick
clips,
tutorial. Grab some coffee.
right on live.
When I go into video clips, what do you mean video clips? It says brand. You said.
Yes, brand, and when you scroll down and you see video clips.
Oh, I see video clips here. Yeah.
All the way at the bottom, you'll see
Yeah.
BK01 and BK02.
Oh, those are some breaks for us.
Yes.
Holla. Okay, and then the ending thing, I just play the outro, the intro again.
Nah, yeah.
I can't do that. I can do, and then I pray the end stream. I got this.
Yeah, we pray. All
yeah,
right.
we pray too. Next time maybe you'll say play and we won't catch it.
We all praying.
There's a lot of buttons. There's a lot of buttons.
That's what I say.
There's a lot of
I catch y'all on the next break. Peace.
Deuces, Ear Doctor.
And let me let you know, it's 8:55 is the break.
Thank you for that, Ear Doctor. Appreciate you.
If I do that, then I should just intro out, right? At 8:55, and all right, never mind. We got it.
Whew.
Well, we'll be talking, and if you go click, I mean, it would be very
The
Kamal.
show is over
very on
at
brand.
10, Kamal. Not 8:55.
Oh, 8:55. My bad. I thought you said 9:55. I'm with you. I'm here. I'm all here. It's all up here. It's all up here. It's all up here.
Do it. You could do it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Ear Doctor. All right, you guys. Let's go on and slap the map and get this party started. Peace, everybody. Welcome to the Remix Morning Show here on Black Power Media. Today is Tuesday, December 5th. Does that sound right to everybody? Does that sound right? I didn't look at my phone. Tuesday, December 5th, 2023. We've got a great show in store for you today. Joined on screen with the ever erudite Lucretia Williams, Mr. Megaphone himself, Kamal Franklin. My name is Kim Brown with the flat helmet haircut, Lord. And shout out to the ear doctor playing the cut in the back. Welcome, everybody. We appreciate you guys making some time to hang out with us today. We got some stories on the docket for you all, but don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Consider offering us some material support. I am aware this is the, to pay your mortgage, pay your rent week. So I'm not going to say run us money, but Kamal, on the other hand, I can't make
Might say run us exactly. I mean, a little, hold us over a little bit. That's all. Hold us over. Burn it down. Got to go get that hair done again. Hold us over for that.
There is no get. That's the. I wish I could go get. You can't. She can't put my hair back. You understand?
It's gonna take months, right, for that to sort of grow out.
She yapped me off a year's worth of growth, yo. A year, son.
So you told I want this, and then she was like on her own. Hairdressers do that, yeah. They go like, oh, I gotta.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted to trim, and listen, I was even prepared for a sizable trim, like a 3 to 4 inch trim. I was prepared for that. I was not prepared for 6 to 8 inches. I hadn't prepared. I didn't do my mental preparedness.
You look fantastic. You look fantastic.
Come out. You
do look fantastic. You do.
I don't want to hear compliments about a hairstyle that I don't like.
That's the wrong thing. You look terrible. This hairstyle is the worst thing that could have ever happened to you.
That's the validation I was looking for.
Okay, my bad.
You can continue with that. Yes, that's the validation I was seeking. Thank you. I'm not even looking in the chat because I know we got some people who want to keep women humble in their place who is probably echoing these sentiments. Like, no, not there. But anyway. In terms of news, gang, where would we like to begin on the news front?
Can we begin with Cornell?
Yo. yo. I think we almost have to. So in the group chat over the weekend, Sister Erica has sent the link about this Forbes piece, which is a hit piece on Dr. West, by the way, and was like, have y'all seen this? And when I read some of the details, I said, somebody did the LexisNexis search. Fuck a Google search. They went deep in the LexisNexis. But yeah, talk about Cornell. Is that what you're talking about, Kamal?
That's what I'm talking about. But I'm like, they're giving me some problems now. We're bringing up the article. So I'm trying, like, they let us read it. I hate this setup. So basically, but the hit piece is that Cornell West, maybe without, I read it once before, that Cornell West is rife with financial problems. And not only rife with financial problems, at least according to the piece, part of the piece is also suggesting that Cornell was not a do-right, stand-up dude. And part of, why it's a hit piece is because they are laying out and, some of it, even in a hit piece, there's obviously going to be things that seem to be, or I'm going to suggest the allegations, some of which could be factual in a sense. But some of it is laying out Cornell's kind of lifestyle of, being married 5 times, of having some quote unquote love children, of not keeping up with alimony. And some of that also involves sort of overspending on luxury items. And so we've invited Cornell to come, which I don't think he will, to be honest. Like, who's going to want to sort of speak to that and keep that story going? But the piece, obvious, and the piece is take some shots, it's written in a somewhat cynical tone about sort of like about Cornell's responses and who he is. And so this is not just a piece that's laying out, oh, these are the facts, and this one. This piece was obviously meant to do damage in a sense of whatever standing he would have in order to attract more votes. Forbes's attempt in this piece is to knock that down a little bit to whoever their audience may be, I guess, and whoever may decide to give that person money. I doubt if the folks who would actually vote for Cornell are regular Forbes readers, but Forbes is obviously a popular enough magazine that a piece like this could and probably has gone viral in some circles, which is something that Cornell maybe at least internally will feel the need to respond to.
He should respond. I mean, if he's running for president, this is unfortunately what comes along with that territory, the opening up of the most intimate private details. I mean, and to be honest, I had no idea Dr. West had been married a bunch of times. I didn't know he had a bunch of kids. And it's like, does that change my opinion about his policies that he's running for president on? It doesn't. It kind of gives a little bit more insight, I think, to his character, which to me sounds like a low budget Trump. Like, isn't this shit Trump do? I mean, actually, even worse, because Trump actually is credibly accused of rape and sexual assault. I don't believe there are any such accusations against Dr. West. He ain't pay his child support and his alimony on time. He needs to work on that. Like he should do better on that front. But I don't know if this changes the equation in terms of people that were going to vote for him or considering voting for him. I don't think that this would dissuade those people from doing that, just because, a womanizing dude who may or may not pay his taxes. That's all of these niggas. This is not, when I say all of these politicians, like, I don't see how he is exceptional in that way if these allegations in this piece are accurate.
Can we have politicians? I don't think we can. I don't think people are ready for politicians that are, polyamorous, are single, are, love children, or, different relationships. So, yeah, I think it's always kind of interesting especially when the politician wasn't having an affair with someone at work or one of their, interns, that people bring this up. They're like, you're not married. They're, or they're queer or something like that. So, I guess depending where you are, and what state you're in and what demographic you're looking at, that matters. But I do have a older tweet that I remember because this was coming up a couple months ago, right? With Cornell. If I can share, can I share? Let's see. And this is from August, where he said, here, for the past 50 years, I have been facing heavy financial responsibilities to my family and friends. I've always made my priceless children a high priority, even with lavish treatments that are not in the records. The wave of IRS audits, fees, liabilities, levies, liens have always been and are now resolved based on agreements set in place years ago. I do believe that we all should pay our fair share of taxes. So this is when I think there were the tax talks earlier. Especially top 1%, like the 63% of my hard-working fellow citizens. I live paycheck to paycheck with dignity and determination. So,
what was the number that the Forbes piece cited for his tax obligation? Was it 425,000? It was a big number.
It was a big number, yeah. And it kept, yeah. It was. I can't remember offhand, but it was something. It was a six-figure tax debt. But I think the other part of the piece is, and I agree with, like, I think people can run into tax problems. I don't think that, for me individually, is like that's not a reason for me not to necessarily vote for you. I think the IRS comes after particular people, blah, blah, blah. I think the thing for me is that Cornell lives an expensive lifestyle and makes a lot of, Cornell is 1%. So just to be clear, like, he may not be upper crust. He's not upper level billionaire by any stretch of the imagination, but Cornell has made a lot of money talking about the Black condition, obviously paid speeches, book deals, and the being a professor at prestigious universities and so forth. And so, does a person who makes that much resources and then says they live a paycheck to paycheck lifestyle, does that give me pause? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. The fact that someone who I feel like has never created an institution or organization, at least that I know of, that's done some larger benefit to either the Black community, or if he's more interested in the quote unquote working class community. Do I see that? I don't see that either. So does that give me pause? A little bit. It's a little bit. It's a little bit. Because then for me, it just becomes, as an intellectual, you're not necessarily creating things that kind of live out what it is that you say that you represent. And so you are, again, giving speeches and talking about certain things in books and receiving a substantial amount of resources. And so, the question becomes how much of that is, I'm not accusing this of this fully, but like, performative in a sense of this is my lane. And how much of that is I'm laying out resources, time, and energy to build something which is going to counteract that besides my individual voice. So that gives me a little pause. But I clearly understand that it's a hit piece, that this is meant to damage Cornel, that these folks are not necessarily having a critical discussion about who Cornel is, what is he given to left politics, where's he placed at, what are the good things, the bad things, and all that in between. This was clearly a piece that was meant to hurt him. But again, it doesn't mean that there aren't things that come out of it that we may not have to consider or think about or even discuss in terms of what his contributions are.
It just feels like people on the left are held to a higher standard than, I guess, politicians that consider themselves to be moderates, whatever the fuck that is, or even on the right, right? Like I feel as though left-leaning people, rightfully so, it's not a bad thing, but apply way more scrutiny, you know what I'm saying, than let's say the average Trump supporter is applying to Donald Trump and his personal and public business dealings, his family situation, his family dynamics, the extra marital affairs, abortions, like whatever, all the fuckery, quote unquote, moralistic stuff that Trump has done. Like, I just feel as though, the standards are different. And I think that's because maybe people on the left are a little bit more thinking, a little bit more intellectual. They care more about the fullness of the character of the person of whom they are considering voting for. But it's like, man, imagine if this much scrutiny, imagine if Forbes applied this fine tooth comb to a Joe Biden or to a DeSantis or to a lot of folks. But Cornel is lower down in the ranks, in the polls. I'm sure his fundraising is not, matching even maybe what a RFK is generating. So it's just interesting that this kind of piece will come out about him in a publication like Forbes.
And I feel like we saw this a lot too, this moralistic argument, especially when we were presented with the upright Negro Obama during his era. It was like, look at those beautiful Black children and this beautiful wife. And so people, the conversations that I was in were people like, I'm going to vote for him, excuse me, just because, one, he's Black, and two, that framework of no problematic family dynamics or anything like that. And I think, again, similar to how we were talking about with Palestine, I think any and all areas, if they can be co-opted and used against us in terms of our feelings about a situation, then they will be, I think.
Oh, yeah. I completely agree with that. I think the part of the dynamic is we must present a perfect image of sort of a mirror of what America tells us we need to look like. And that plays, and then you're right. I don't think Obama would have gotten as far as Obama did if he wasn't married to a Black woman like Michelle, particularly for the Black community, had the kids. And I'm not saying all of that is, when I look at a Kamala Harris, for instance, my instinct is I prefer that family dynamic more than Kamala Harris's, just to be honest, right? Is that like an emotional spot that moves me to give Obama more consideration? Yes. Was that played? And did Obama know that? And that's the thing. I think Obama knew that when Obama thought about his own political career, and he started stop dating the white women, and he started being like, you know what? I'm going to take this shit seriously. If I'm going to be this to get Black votes, I'm going to need to look like this and do this.
Shit, to get white votes.
That's true. That's true. So I think he took that stuff and knew where to go with that. So yeah. I don't think Cornel, you're right, needs to be judged particularly on the amount of times. It's salacious, of course, but the amount of times that the dude who's been married and the rest of it And again, like Trump is like Teflon. In fact, the more they throw at Trump, the more his supporters just like laugh it off or be like, he's different. Or even for the Christian nationalists who, I don't believe have real ethics anyway, but who supposedly have these ethics that Trump checks off every opposite box of what those ethics should be, without even a second thought, in mass vote for Trump, right? So, short of what was the guy in Alabama who was running for senator, short of an accusation of pedophilia, basically, a right-wing candidate can get away with almost anything in terms of not fitting into a particular box, including being accused of several rapes, several sexual assaults, race discrimination in terms of like their own property or being a landlord. All of that stuff, it's like either adds to his mystique, to be honest, or is put to the side for those folks who vote for him. And I part of me still is trying to figure out why, to be honest. I wish I had a better analysis as to why, because except for the fact that he's maneuverable and he's a celebrity, it's not because he has real hard right-wing politics, because he really doesn't. He falls into a certain box of that, but he's not an ideologue by any stretch of the imagination, because he probably can't even spell ideologue, but that's another discussion.
Me neither.
Well, yeah. And you've had several marriages, I believe. So.
Oh, shit.
Quit it.
Chick, chick, blam.
Yeah, we got another story anybody wants to run?
I sent you a story.
Okay, you can start talking. You can start talking. I'll pull it up.
So this is a story that's happening locally here in the DC area. Remixers, give the video a thumbs up, please, and thank you. So in, I believe, January of 2020, before George Floyd was murdered by Derek Chauvin, a Black man in Prince George's County, Maryland, was shot by a PG County cop, and killed by this cop. What makes this story so egregious is that the victim was handcuffed and, I believe, seatbelted in the police cruiser when this police officer shot this man 6 times, shot him 6 times. This cop has been, I believe, held without bond this entire time since 2020, and his trial has just started. One thing I should point out before we start, the heinousness of this murder committed by this Prince George's County police officer against this individual resulted already in a $20 million settlement for the family. The county settled this lawsuit quick, and I believe it was a historical amount that the county has ever reached with a victim's family surrounding a police killing. So this is an update about the trial, which is ongoing right now, happening in PG County, of this cop who killed, I believe his name is Mr. Brooks.
George's County police officer accused of killing a handcuffed man in his cruiser took the stand in his own defense.
Prosecutors say Michael Owen was not justified in his use of force, but today we heard Owen explain his actions for the first time.
News 4's Darcy Spencer live outside the court with today's testimony. Darcy.
Well, that's right. You know, I was one of only a few reporters who were inside the courtroom this morning when Michael Owen took the stand. That's because it was completely unexpected. This was the first time we have heard him give his version of what happened inside that police cruiser when he fired those fatal shots. And it was really a surprise to hear him say that the victim in this case somehow got a hold of his gun and he didn't even know it. Prince George's County Police Corporal Michael Owen testified that he shot William Green in self-defense, telling the jury, "I thought I was going to die." Owen, taking the stand in his own murder trial, told the jury he didn't realize Green had gotten a hold of his service weapon. After the shooting, Owen said, "I looked down at my holster and my jaw just drops." Investigators say Green was seated in the front passenger seat of Owen's cruiser with his hands cuffed behind his back. Owen testified Green had become combative and was thrashing about in his car, displayed what he called superhuman strength. He said Green slammed into him, causing excruciating pain. Then Owen said he heard a hollow metallic thud, which he says he instinctively knew was the sound of a gun hitting the center console. Then he testified he saw Green with the gun pointed at him. We're struggling over it. He's extremely strong. As we're fighting over the gun, a shot is fired. At that point, Owen testified he got control of the gun. I fired a quick succession of rounds. Prosecutors say Green was shot 6 times and died at the hospital. This is the first time we're hearing Owen's version of what happened that day. It was January 2020. Green, who was suspected of being under the influence of PCP, had hit several cars. During the investigation, Owen placed Green in his patrol car. Owen testified Green became increasingly combative. He began to reach into the small of his back. It looked like he was manipulating something. Owen said he wanted to call for help using his mic, but Green kicked it out of his hand. On cross-examination, Owen confirmed Green allegedly somehow got a hold of his gun while he was still handcuffed. When Owen was asked if he felt the gun leave his holster, he said no. Prosecutors suggested that Owen could have gotten out of the cruiser and gotten help, and questioned why he continued to fire the gun after the first shot. Terry Barnes, a longtime friend of Owen, said he's pleased he got to tell his side of the story.
It's Mike's turn this week, and I believe that he is going to walk out of here a free man.
The jury has gone home for the day. Michael Owen has completed his testimony. The defense expected to start calling additional witnesses tomorrow.
No, well, y'all needed to hear that. I mean, y'all, I didn't know that you could grab guns from our people's hands with your hands handcuffed behind your back, kicking. I mean, just the list of actions that Mr. Green is alleged to have done to justify why this cop would shoot him 6 times. I mean, I'm like, this is the giantest crock of shit. None of that makes any sense. Okay, like I'm trying to envision it. None of it makes any sense. I'm so shocked that this cop took the stand and is actually floating this story.
Why is he in the front seat of his squad car? I mean, there's so many. It's like how does he in the front seat of the squad? I mean, this dude just went to town and shot him for whatever reason, because he was mad, because the dude was thrashing his car, because he didn't calm down when he told him to. But this kind of story is, and again, I'm not suggesting the jury won't go for it, because this is America. So I'm not suggesting the jury won't go for it. But this, I mean, of all this rates up there with the white female cop who broke into the Texas, the Dallas home of, I'm forgetting his name, and claimed that she thought it was her own apartment.
Oh.
And then shot him because she thought he had broken into her apartment when she basically broke into his apartment. And this is like that level of BS that, again, you just don't know. You just don't know. Thank you so much, Botham Jean. Yeah. So you just do not know what's going to happen. But, you know, it is one of the worst tellings of a tale that in my eye, it's like, it's better to say I freaked out and I shot this dude. I mean, I just don't understand how, like, what the rationality is, just telling a story about some handcuffed dude taking the gun out of your holster without you knowing it, with his handcuffs behind his back.
Isn't there a snap or something? Aren't guns heavy? Held one, they're pretty heavy.
Or some of the holsters are such that you have to push the gun down and push it forward.
Yeah.
Like it locks in such that you can't just pull the gun out the holster. You have to, it's a motion involved. So, I mean, lies. It just sounds like lies. I don't know what the PG County State's Attorney's Office, I mean, they don't have the greatest track record of convicting these cops.
That was the follow-up question. Like, I guess the at least presented within the news story, one of the follow-up questions was why didn't you run and get help, or why didn't you just shoot once? It's like, is that your follow-up question? Your follow-up question is basically to lead to the possibilities that this did happen, and so therefore your reaction was you should have had some other reactions. Shouldn't your follow-up questions basically pin this person down into the lies that they're telling
Yes.
and not giving an avenue for doubt to the jury. Like, oh, maybe this incredibly strong person got this gun out, handcuffed behind their back, as for some reason they're in the front of your vehicle, be like handcuffed.
And then there's some assumptions that have been made in that package when they're talking about the victim, Mr. Green, saying that he was suspected of being high on PCP. Well, this happened almost 4 years ago. I don't see why it should be suspected. Like, there should have been all kinds of toxicology report. Like, that's not something to me that should be speculative but reported as fact in the media. He was suspected of being high on. Well, was he or wasn't he? And if he, and why don't we know? if we don't know, and if we don't know, then why are we putting that the fuck out there? Because that's what the cop said. No, we got to do better. Channel 4.
Yeah, I like this. So if he had the superhuman strength, how did the cops restrain him and get him into cuffs in the first place?
Come on, y'all. Y'all asking the right questions. And I know we got plenty of DMVers in here. One of y'all aunties is sitting on that jury. Okay. You need to have a conversation. I know she ain't supposed to talk about the shit, but seriously, be like, auntie, come on. You know that
superhuman strength. I mean, I do want to share this headline. I wish I could read the whole article from New York Times. 1914 of its continual use. So here it is. Negro cocaine fiends are a new Southern menace. Murder and insanity increasing among lower class blacks because they have taken to sniffing since deprived of whiskey by prohibition. So it goes into more, and this is a headline from 1914. So I really wish I could share it with you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, they've been at it for a long time.
Well, exactly.
That's why I say the New York Times is a rag. I mean, it is a rag. Wipe your ass with that rag. It is a rag. It's a rag.
Well, speaking of ass wipes.
I tried to come on right before he said, because I seen this.
My eyes lit up.
I seen it
menace.
My eyes lit up.
This is how you step in front of the punch, yo.
Unacceptable. Unacceptable.
This is how you step in front of the punch. But yo, the fact that they was like, well, he was fumbling with his arms behind. Bruh, have you ever had tight ass handcuffs on your wrist before trying to sit down comfortably? Of course you trying to do like this and get shit. Oh my goodness.
And again, he had his hands behind his back. It was fun. Did you find anything though? You feel me? Like, I don't give a fuck what you thought he was doing. What did he have? Obviously nothing, because that would have been reported. That would have been included. Oh, we found a knife. We found scissors. We found a razor. Ain't find. Don't like it here.
Speaking of found somebody, I found Kim's barber.
Why do you think I went to a barber? A barber would not have did me this way. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Well, hacker. All right.
Somebody not paying attention and talking on the phone while they got scissors in their hand is why I'm in the condition I'm in on today.
Wow.
Sounds like she's never going back.
Y'all, because y'all don't understand that I can tolerate certain levels of unprofessionalism. I really can. Like, I'm not a Karen in that way. This shit don't have to be 5-star. It could be 3.5 star. And what I mean is that this lady constantly talks on the phone. Well, anytime I've had my hair done with her, she talks on the fucking phone the whole time. She's normally talking to her kids, but yesterday she was not talking to her kids. She was just running her yam, talk about absolutely fucking nothing. Meanwhile, my glories ended up on the floor.
Tragic. All right.
I feel you, Kim.
Oh, look, I lost sleep last night. This woman's gonna get the harshest text from me at 10 o'clock.
Ooh, watch out for that text. All right, we're gonna take a quick break right here on the Remix Morning Show. That text is gonna be so.
It's gonna be mean.
Oh man! All right, we're gonna take a quick break. Yeah, continue. We're gonna take a quick break right here on the Remix Morning Show. Yeah. Tickle. Big up all my people out there representing and coming into here. Like, listen, I want to hear some Remix Morning Show, where you in the right place, because right here is where you hit that like button, and right now is when you subscribe if you're new to the channel, and you also become a member all at one time. You go to patreon.com, look for Black Power Media, and become a member over there and get footage over here that's rare. All right, boom. So, as you know, I like to give spotlights to artists. Who is that we hearing and knocking in the background? I wanted to give a spotlight to Phonte. Right. In case y'all don't know who Phonte is part of a couple groups. One of the groups being Little Brother, and the other group being the Foreign Exchange. All right, so also known as Phonte Lashad Coleman, coming straight out of North Carolina, Lumberton. He's a rapper, singer, and producer. He also does a podcast with Questlove called the Team Supreme. And like I said, he's been out here for a minute when you're talking about rhyming and stuff. But he came out in around the early 2000s. This was a time when a lot of the music was changing, and a lot of it was snap rap and big T's and talking about, you know, how much money you get in and blah, blah, blah. So what they did is they came out with a whole album, which was dope. And the aim of the album was Minstrel Show. So this Minstrel Show album was real good because it was talking about how much minstrel stuff is going on in the record industry. So when that came out, it changed the game. This was an album he did with rapper Big Pooh and also Knife Wonder. And this came out in around 2000 and don't let me lie, but I'm sure you can find it out. But 2005 is when the Minstrel Show album came out. And after he did the Minstrel Show album, that's when Knife Wonder left the group, and then he wound up getting up with Nicolay, which was how he came about the album with Foreign Exchange. And if you haven't heard Foreign Exchange, you need to go check out this album right here, Leave It All Behind. Very dope, very, very dope album. So when you talk about singing, rapping, and all that, before Drake and all them, it was Phonte. Actually, Drake said he got a lot of his style from Phonte, from singing and rapping and stuff like that. So go check out this brother right here. As I could say, he has 5 albums with Little Brother. He has 5 albums with the Foreign Exchange. So check it out. And they also got a documentary right now called May the Lord Watch, which is on the Little Brothers and their rise to fame and all that. So go check that out. You can check it on YouTube. I forget what channel it is, but it is what it is. Go check it out. All right, with that said, let's go ahead and get back to the Remix Morning Crew. Now we do.
Catch up, who's never turning back? Yo, I ain't never heard an act to blow and go global, then come back home and still be called local. And when we on stage, the people they all front.
Yeah, take a load.
Man, one of the best out of North Carolina. You got Rhapsody out of North Carolina. You got Little
J.
Brother.
Cole. Mm-hmm.
Who?
J. Cole.
J. Cole. That whole group out of there. So yeah.
Shout out to the God, Petey Pablo. Shout out to the
Pablo.
God, Petey Pablo.
I actually know who that is. Yes.
Yes.
Swinging my shirt. Oh my God.
That was acceptable. Yes.
Yeah.
What a record. Whoa, my mama, my bro, my nigga back for the record.
But
I was from Chicago, but I was out there now.
Yeah. I checked out the documentary. It was pretty good also. And
nice.
Yeah, getting to know more. I mean, when you listen to this album, I mean, I wouldn't have seen him in concert with Foreign Exchange, Little Brother back in the day, but the talent this guy has, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Kamal's on mute, so I guess he's cool with that.
Yeah, it's cool.
All right. So that's what it is. Remember the buttons, Kamal. I got to get ready to get out of here. Class starts at
I was getting stories. I was putting stories. My bad.
What we teaching today, Doctor? What's the lessons?
Today we're gonna go over samples. We're gonna go over samples and go over different genres of music because a lot of them don't realize.
Besides hip hop, what you know?
Hey. Look, that's disrespectful. Disrespectful. This man's a DJ.
I have a request for next week.
Oh.
Can you do a Ludacris spotlight? That's somebody who I also know. So
we'll accept Ludacris. We'll accept Ludacris
spotlight. Oh.
I'm cool with Luda.
You don't take requests again? You take
Nah, I'm cool with Luda. I was
You don't
just
have to do it
thinking,
for
like,
next week. Just
I was
whenever.
just wondering why y'all keep wanting to do people you already know, but it's cool. I got you.
No. You
I
can
want
do
to
people.
contribute. That's all.
You can do people we don't know, but it's got to be somebody who's done something that we should know about.
Gotta be. Okay.
Gotta be.
And
Yeah,
you can
gotta
add
be.
some tidbits about the artist that we do know, some tidbits that we may not have known.
Just not like some almost one-hit wonder that you kind of found, and then you think you should do a whole 2 minutes on them. That part I'm not quite sure about.
All right.
So
No, you don't have to listen to me. This was just
don't back down. Don't back down.
No, I'm listening.
he does what he wants.
Am I hearing you? Yeah.
support you. I support you.
Nah, I got y'all.
You know, you might want to do a spotlight, Ear Doctor, on all the songs that are now ruined by Puffy fucking. I was
Ooh.
trying to listen to Ready to Die. You
Oh,
can't listen
man.
to Ready to Die because
Yes,
this
you
nigga
can.
Puffy is all over the fucking record.
You can listen to Ready to Die. Stop that.
Nah.
That goes back to the whole. Oh, I can't watch the Cosby Show and see all the great acting just because of one person on there. Nah,
The
bro.
main person though. Dr.
He wasn't the main person every episode. You had some
the
episodes
main
where
You
you had some episodes where it was all about Claire, or it was all about
Sure.
Theo.
Sir,
Called The Cosby Show.
he's the patriarch.
The Cosby
family.
Show.
So what is Rudy just supposed to go broke now because Bill fucked
Poor
up?
Rudy.
That's it.
Poor Rudy.
Nah.
This is the only job Malcolm Jamal Warner ever had. So what y'all gonna do?
Just do this when you watching it. Do this on the screen whenever you see Bill, and just look at everybody else.
Who's the exception to your rule of like, something rotten about them, but you still like them either acting or singing wise? But you still be like, I gotta listen to that song. Who's the exception? There's got to be somebody. Too many
Mine is
artists.
James Brown. Like I listen to James Brown with a clear conscience, and I shouldn't, right? But I do. Okay, but all the rappers, and again, I loved these niggas. You understand? Like T.I., Nas, whatever, Puffy was touching. Like one of my favorite songs that comes up on my shuffle is Mace, Looking at Me. That Puffy is on. He's all over it. He's all over the record. He's all over the record. And it's like, I hate it. I can't enjoy my music.
Yeah,
Why? Because the man done fucked it up.
Yeah, it's funny because I got a bunch of parties coming up this week, and I was just thinking, I was like, damn, I used to, I want to rock this song that Diddy did with a Dirty Money, and that was just him and the two girls singing. And it's a hard song, yo. I hate that you love me, and I was like, oh shit. And then Puffy come on, yeah. I was like, oh, damn.
Sounding greasy. Coming on sounding greasy.
So
Who do you listen to that you should probably be like? Anybody come to mind? All your artists are pure, sacrosanct?
Who are you asking? Ear Doctor?
Yeah,
No,
no,
Lucretia. No, Lucretia.
Oh, Lucretia.
I listen to a lot of random stuff. I don't know. I try not to know too much about them. I try not to follow it, because then I think I won't listen to anything.
That's not a bad question.
Unless it's too egregious. This Puffy stuff has actually been making me cackle and cry, because I feel like he's been a menace in the corner and nobody knew, but maybe people did know. I didn't know.
A lot of people knew.
But to hear this, I was like, he seemed like a lame guy, and he was the puppeteer. Wow.
No, it seems like he's got for a long. Maybe because those, at least publicly, those allegations did not include sexual assault allegations, to my knowledge, but they did include being responsible people dying and shit. You know what I mean? And
that I had no clue about. Which,
yeah, I mean, I'm like, he got away with that one. So
wow.
I mean, and everybody knew he was exploiting his artists, and I guess that's just a fact of life that we all just accepted. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, everybody gets screwed over, and that's the business. That's the business. You should have looked at your contract. Blah blah blah. But yeah.
All right, real quick, the key to not being late is always trying to be there 5 minutes early. So I'm about to go.
Whoa. Just one question, son.
What up? Go ahead.
So
hurry up.
9:30, I should do a break.
9:25.
9:25. And then the next one I should do it like 9:45, 9:50.
No, it's no more. It's only 3 breaks. I did 2 already. There's one more at 25, and then at the end of the show,
yeah.
if we reach 450,
450 now.
Hey, why
I'm
not?
playing that shit no matter what. Yeah.
All right, well, say less. But it's the one called BK01 and BK02. Got it?
Well, BK02 is the last one if we reach a certain number.
That's usually the numerological order.
Ooh, the what?
The
order?
woo?
The what?
He laughed. That's okay. Everybody, we knew what he meant.
You knew
Thank
it.
you, your doctor. Feel
That was
safely.
hilarious. So, gang, the ear doctor has departed us, so we have to pick up the slack. The quality of the show sometimes goes down when ear doctor leaves, but we're gonna make sure we try to keep it together. We got Kamal Franklin here, Lucretia Williams, Kim Brown. It's the Remix Morning Show, the Tuesday edition. Come on in here, everybody. Give us a like, a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, support us. Patreon.com/Black Power Media. $ Black Power Media via your Cash App, or you can contribute directly via some super chats. I sometimes we miss the super chats after ear doctor leaves, so y'all gonna have to holler or something and tell
Well,
us.
so far we haven't gotten any, so there's nothing to miss.
Oh, sure.
Apparently there's nothing to miss because not even one. I can't get $5 for this good comedy I've been supplying y'all.
Good.
Like two. Come on now. Come on. I said, speaking of ass wipes, come on now.
That was good.
That was pretty not, I don't know. Why are you so mean to your doctor?
Yeah.
No, they mean to each other.
I was gonna say he dishes it out harder than it dishes
All the
hard. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
That's
got
true.
something.
You guys are at each other's throats. Yeah.
Man, when ear doctor talks about Kamal's dress thermals, I am dead.
Well, that's hilarious.
Go put on your formal thermals, sir.
You don't like this one? This is a good one. Look at this. That little stripe there.
It's totally fine. I
It's
like
very
it.
fashionable.
Right. But I like it though. You know, I don't know about fashionable, but it works. It works for you. That tells me that you working. That gives me, I'm a man of the people. I got my thermals on out this bitch.
Exactly, son. Exactly. Looking like a construction worker / substitute teacher, apparently. Either
Man
way.
of the people. Right.
Yeah, true.
That's right.
All right, I got a news story pulled up. The
Okay.
Beyonce thing that seems to be making around. Y'all want to talk about that, or y'all got something else going on?
Beyonce.
Oh, thank you. We got a gifted Black Power Media membership.
Okay.
Who gifted? Who did the gifting?
Sticker.
I'll show that.
There we go. Melanin Rich Nay.
Hey,
Matcha. Also, super sticker.
And
Thank you.
super sticker. Appreciate you.
guys. Some of our all-stars. Thank you guys so much. Well, what happened with Beyonce? I know her movie is in theaters.
Well, this thing, I'm not sure if it's Beyonce should be taking the blame as much as the people who defend Beyonce in terms of what this story seems to be about. So apparently, Israel has adopted, or at least some people have claimed that they are adopting Beyonce's song "You Won't Break My Soul" as their sort of like fight back song. So. Oh. Ooh. I'm gonna play it. Reed, so. Oh my.
Ooh.
Oh, I just want to put y'all through the pain. So break my soul, and I think part of this discussion is that there are some folks who had asked Beyonce to not display or not preview the movie in Israel. Again, as part of a sort of a boycott. Artists at times are asked to do this, but you know, whether or not she had responsibility for it, so forth and so on. Not, you know, and I'm sure she hasn't said anything about this whatsoever. However, it became a struggle online of some people jumping up and saying something to akin of like, you know, leave Beyonce, again, the Beehive, whatever, leave Beyonce alone. That we shouldn't be putting any pressure on her to do anything political. And then some people came back with a great retort. Actually, let me find that real quick. because I think it speaks to why Beyonce, another reason why Beyonce has become kind of a lightning rod for at least debate and struggle around what artists are responsible for, who artists are responsible to. So let me see if I can pull this up I can't, obviously not real fast because I'm still looking for it. And maybe not at all.
Well, I know Harry Belafonte years ago had called out Jay-Z and Beyonce for their lack of politics, and I thought it was surrounding the specific issue, but it's been a decade and some change now, possibly. So I can't remember what it was exactly. But no, they have been, well, for one, ain't no celebrities like Harry Belafonte no more. Let's be crazy. Let's be clear. There's not no new, they're not making new Harry Belafontes out here. And Jay-Z and Beyonce are certainly not in that mold. They are not in the Ruby Dee and Ozzie Davis mold of Black politics and activism, not even close.
Yeah, the question becomes what artists do. So I can't find the actual one, but basically someone was saying, leave Beyonce alone. And the response by someone else was, look, if someone puts themselves in a Black beret, raises their fists, uses Black Panther symbolism, quotes Malcolm X, quotes Assata Shakur, then they're basically going to be called out or asked why they're doing this and what are their politics around doing this. And so sort of like surrounding yourself with the ethos of Black radicalism, but then backing off of anything radical, the question does, I think there is a good question around what is this artist doing, pretending to do. If they don't want to be thought of as political or politicized, then, you know, they can't necessarily just get away with using the history of Black struggle without actually saying things around current day Black struggle. And I think that, you know, again, artists are human beings and so forth and so on. They're not our leaders. No one expects us to believe that. But some of these folks present themselves as cultural workers. And you have people are mentioning Boots Riley, like you have somebody like a Boots Riley who for decades has represented himself in a certain way and stands on that and actually does organizing and activism and struggles around it. And then you have somebody like Beyonce who seems to be more performative in terms of what she does, but obviously has a legion of fans for her music and her talent. But when she dips into Black radicalness or Black power history, then there becomes questions of like, you know, well, why are you doing that? And what is that supposed to mean? And what are your politics around that? Which I think are logical questions to be asked or whatever.
Lucretia, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's interesting, like what you were saying, Kamau, people, you know, saying to leave her alone, but then using the imagery, you know, sometimes having the politics on the album or in, I guess, you know, public appearances can definitely make you think that they are more political than they actually are. And I saw actually some people talking about the open letter that was issued, I think last month when this first all kicked off in Palestine, this era of terror. And there were, I think, over 700 celebrities that were signed, and people were talking about like, look at all these celebrities speaking out. That's so wonderful. And I think it is wonderful if they're using their platform to point to other people who are organizing, like Palestinian Youth Movement or, you know, a Black Alliance for Peace, for example. But if they're just saying things that activists have already been saying, yeah, I don't think we need them for that. I have been left behind in the Beyonce era. I fell off at Love on Top, so I haven't been in the discourse since then. So that's me.
So I don't know, like I pay some attention to Beyonce, not a whole lot, but like it just seems her whole career, Beyonce to me is a trend chaser. So when she did the Panther imagery and, you know, was quoting Malcolm and Assata, that was all around the same time, I think, as Black Panther, and around the time that she performed at the Super Bowl halftime when it was in Oakland, which I think coincided with a Black Panther party anniversary. I mean, it was a look, right? I mean, that's it. It was a mood. It was a temporary thing. Like, oh, it's the anniversary, so let me dress in this way. Let me use this rhetoric. Let me present this aesthetic. But that was absolutely not her politics, right? Like, it to me, it's no different than a theme at the Met Gala, right? Like that. That's all that was for Beyonce. That was a theme. Oh, we're doing the Black Panther theme. Okay, let me do this for the theme, and then she was over it, right? Like that. That's not it, at least she doesn't give that to me. That's not or who she is. That was something she did for that particular thing, for that particular look, for that particular moment. But her politics don't indicate that.
Mm-mm.
And I believe, Beyonce probably has some say in her marriage. I don't think that she is, voiceless in her marriage, but I think there is a power dynamic that goes on between she and her husband. And her husband is all in. You know what I'm saying? Like he's in. He's in the NFL, which it makes him endorsing the U.S. military, which thereby endorses Zionism. Like, you think Jay-Z's having Beyonce come out and say something on some pro-Palestine or anti-Israel? No fucking way.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, I think they know what's happening in the world, and some are choosing to not say anything, and some are choosing to say some terrible things, like LeBron James at the beginning. Like, so, I think part of them is the whole thing of like, don't do anything, don't say anything, but to do something safe that seems historic and pro-Black, but touches an edge of making people uncomfortable, but also makes them look harder at you for a second, which I completely agree with you was what the Panther theme was. It was like, this is historical radical. At the time of the Panthers being the foremost Black radical organization, a lot of folks didn't want to touch them. But now through sort of a lens of history in which they are sort of within the pantheon of Black organizations that you can pay tribute to, then it becomes easier because then they're sort of defanged and made into part of a musical act in some ways. So really quickly, since I did find it, I'll say somebody just said it was completely unfair to put all the weight and pressure on these celebrities, especially the Black ones, when global shit pops off. That's been going on for decades and centuries, as if their words is going to put an end to it. That shit been going on, and y'all said nothing. And then a response, which I loved, was like, if this is about Beyonce, you don't get to quote Malcolm X in your songs, throw up the Black Power fist, wear Black Panther-esque clothing, quote Black revolutionaries, talk about major social issues like police brutality, then think you're going to be held, then think you're not going to be held, or you aren't going to be held to a certain standard. So I do think when people walk into something and they're not prepared, i.e. the squad, or in other ways, people who walk into politics and then they have no idea what they're walking into, or they think that they can just sloganeer it. And then when someone asks them hard questions, it makes them completely back off. That's partly what's happening, partly what's happening in the larger world. But I think the Beyonce thing was pure performance. And even if, again, they know better underneath it, it's not like I don't think these people haven't read books. They're not looking at what's going on. They've made donations to certain organizations. So it's not like they don't know somewhat what's going on, but they've chosen for their own reasons to not continue with that because the profit in that is very slim. And so speaking of somebody who's making a profit, real quickly, I'm gonna go to this story. Getting back to our true owners are masters of society. So Jeff Bezos backed real estate company is launching a new fund to acquire more single family homes across the US.
Oh God.
So many of the world's largest investment firms have launched new funds over the past couple of years aimed at acquiring or building single family homes to use as rentals. This comes as no surprise considering that the increased cost of buying a home has forced many Americans into being tenants instead of homeowners. Arrived, a young real estate company backed by Amazon.com Inc. Founder Jeff Bezos has just announced its entry into the single family rental fund space. Arrived currently operates a fractional real estate investing platform that has attracted nearly 500,000 retail investors since its launch in 2021. The platform allows these investors to purchase shares of single family rental properties with as little as $100. To date, investors on the platform have funded more than 388 homes with a total value of $122 million. Properties are often fully funded within hours of going live which has resulted in limiting the maximum investment on many of its offerings. And so, obviously they're not the first one to do this. There's a little bit more to the story, but they're not the first one to do this. But, it's taken the place in some ways of what caused the Great Recession. And so when they were basically chopping up mortgages and selling them as shares and in securities as investments, now they're going into, and it's been happening for well over a decade now. Now they're going into single family homes and doing something extremely similar, which is chopping up rents. And so obviously they own the homes, they charge the rents, and then they use the rents as sort of as resources to fund and to pay back investors at a large scale. And so whereas single family homes either were individually owned by the owner, or in some cases, even for working class people, they would buy a second home and rent it out to make an increased income. But even that's gone, right? So even that sort of like way of somebody on a come up trying to say, oh, let me get this and do this with it. Basically, these investment firms here in Atlanta, the largest owner of single family homes, I believe it's Blackstone or BlackRock, but basically an investment firm that purchases over 400 to 500 homes, single family homes in and around the Atlanta area. No individual owner can compete with that in terms of purchasing. And obviously no individual buyer who wants to buy for themselves can compete with that when these companies start to kind of go in and buy these homes and buy these things only to rent it back to people. So this is again another entry point in which these billionaires are commodifying everything at the same time.
I mean, this is like new age feudalism, right? All the landlords is consolidating all the housing, and then everybody is on they surf shit. you gotta run the landlord. The lies. I feel terrible for everybody. I feel terrible for all of us. I especially feel terrible for younger folks who want, I guess, to try to purchase a home, and just every turn, like the wages are not enough. The expectations of down payments and credit scores, I think, are onerous, and you're not going to be able to outbid a cash offer on a house. And that's what it sounds like these investment firms are just cash, just straight cash, homie. That's it. And you're not going to be able to compete with that with your 3.5% FHA loan. You know what I'm saying? Like this, it's not going to happen.
It's just depressing as a younger person that doesn't own a home. So I'm just like, ugh. I mean, they should have just handed me a cardboard box when I graduated university and been like, that's it. This is all you're getting. That would have been a lot more honest, I think.
Should have gave you some Molotovs. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It's like, fuck this, burn this shit to the fucking ground. Like, what are we trying to? And then in the face of all this kind of news, and then we get this rhetoric from especially Black politicos, Democrats especially. We need to uphold democracy and preserve it. For what? For what? The people can't afford to live. Why are we, what is worth upholding? What is worth preserving here? Like, you have to explain it to me like I'm stupid. Like, people can't do anything. They can't educate themselves, or their children can't house themselves, or their children can't feed themselves or their children. What are we upholding?
It's really crazy renting too, because I mean, of course, we talk about it a lot. You talk about this on your show, Kim. Like I'm thinking also about everything, and I'm thinking of pets and things. And like we were looking, and it's like every place was like, nope, you can't have pets, or like $100 a pet or something like that. And that may seem not important in comparison to the amount of rent, but that's just another reason why you can be stuck anywhere. So,
and everything is commodified. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kim.
No. I just wanted to mention breed restrictions also are a fucked up thing that landlords do. Like, people have to they usually end up abandoning their bully breeds, especially, or your pit bull or your German Shepherd or your Connie Corso. Like, your bully breed will usually end up in a bad situation because the new apartment complex you're going to doesn't allow certain breeds. So what do you do with your dog?
It just reminds like how every small thing is being commodified. Like, not like what animals you bring in. I keep thinking, like my mind went to airlines and how, like, you used to bring your luggage but now you get charged. You can only, certain airlines bring one bag. If you bring the 2 bags, a book bag and the other thing, then they charge you for that. They charge you for seat assignments. They charge you for food. And so everything also becomes like every little thing that used to be free, all of a sudden includes a new price tag to it, which again is ways of taking money out of your pocket and putting it back into theirs. And this happens, when gas prices or oil prices are at record lows, and for these airlines, their profit margins increase tremendously. They claim when they do this stuff that they're doing it because there's some increase in some certain expense, but it's never the opposite. It's never when those expenses go back down to where they were, do they start saying, oh, so let's retract that. No, those things keep on going because they continually want to find ways to just whatever we make having to work for them gets bleeded back out of our pockets back towards them. And that's the angle that they keep moving us towards. And unfortunately, until we figure it out, we keep accepting. So one quick story.
Before you do that, Kamal,
yes.
Somebody ran us a super chat. Can we acknowledge that person?
If I can find the super chat.
Shit. I saw it.
Other than the ones you mentioned?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't a membership thingy. Well, anyway, whoever sent it, I kind of saw it, so thank you.
That's how we do on Black Power Media. You may or may not get recognition for your money. You know what I mean? And that's how it should be. That's how it should be. You're not looking for recognition, are you, when you give us some dollars?
What? We don't have donor dinners come out? No.
Oh, no, we did get a couple. We did. Wait a minute. I got one here from Zenzile Bell. She ran some money. Here you go, Kamal. Thank you, Zenzi. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Shout out to Raj. Raj Shaw ran us a nice dub. Appreciate that, Raj. Thank you. Thank you.
20 bills. Good looking. So on that note, do we want to take a quick break or do we want to go to this next story?
Is it break time?
It's 2 minutes early, but this is our show right now. This ain't your doctor's show. I said we wanted to take an extra 2 minutes. I mean, it's going to take me that long to find the clip anyway.
Correct.
Correct.
So,
Let's go. Whatever.
Let's take a break. I mean, yeah. Sure.
Okay, let's take a little break as soon as I can find a break. Oh, there we go. All right, y'all. We're going to be right back with a quick break from the Ear Doctor. Let's run it.
Open your eyes, get wild, to the exercise. That's most dominant. You need knowledge while I'm dropping it. Listen to the rap, allow it to trap your body and soul so that you can adapt to the man on display as I take you away. So may I? Yes, you may. Proud to be a black man, coming exact and giving up brothers 5 on the back and great police and peace upon each other with my sisters and brothers. Yo, word to the mother. I say the mother, as in the motherland. But on the other hand, another man tackle and shackle our ancestors, but we beat them with freedom. So let's bless the country that we all came from. Because the bubble of it all is we shall overcome. The cream will keep rising. We be sizing up the Asiatic ones, enterprising, building and carry on. All the way from Malcolm X to Farrakhan. Martin Luther was a tutor. Many pupils, those who fell victim were those without scruples. Never to sever, we could never. So hold up, we sign and stand together. Take heed to the words that are manifest. So when I'm speaking, Molly,
once again, welcome out. This is no other than the Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. Make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. And go to patreon.com and become a member over there so you get footage that's red. Yeah, this is the Ear Doctor in your ear. As we get back to the Remix Morning crew, you know how we do. Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
That was
I
nice.
know. How come he don't do that for his real breaks? This other thing he's, maybe he should be away more. Maybe he should be away.
No,
No,
no, no,
'cause
no.
I don't even have access. No.
Who was that? Big Daddy Kane? It sounded like
Yeah, that
Kane.
was Big Daddy. Yeah.
Yes, Big Daddy Kane was so fine. Jesus. Woo!
Is that an unproblematic listen, Big
Hmm?
Daddy Kane? Is that
I
a
don't think he's got hit with anything. He's never got hit with anything.
wonderful?
No.
I wouldn't even call his records. I mean, he might have a couple a couple of joints, but that's not like the main theme of his rap,
No,
right?
yeah.
Like,
Well, like the lover, stud, best
Ooh,
rapper, that kind of
mm,
thing. Yeah.
yes. My
They
name
used to
is
call me the
Big
light skinned
Daddy.
Big Daddy. They used to call me the light skinned Big Daddy.
Who come out? Who called you that?
Yeah. That's the question.
Who?
Who?
Whomst? As Kim says, whomst?
Girl I was dating at the time.
Right. Did you pay her to call you that?
Ah! She gave me a super chat.
Gave you a super
She
chat.
gave me a
Called you James DeBarge, nigga. It's in James DeBarge. Looking just like L. Ooh.
Ooh, and I like it.
Who did you used to get mistaken for? Like, come out, you look just
I
like.
don't look like no celeb. No. Well, I mean, there was the first black governor of New York,
David Patterson.
David Patterson, which I was not pleased about. I was never pleased when people said that I looked like David Patterson.
You do not look like David Patterson.
People said I looked like David Patterson. Now I'm
People
going to have
were
to
trying clown
find.
you. People.
Oh no, they definitely were. But there was a little bit. I saw a little bit, and the more I saw, I was like, I'm not pleased. Oh, perfect picture.
First cousin, maybe. Like that maybe second cousin. That's your second cousin, David. But
Second
no,
cousin.
no.
All
I
right, wait a
wouldn't look-
minute. So,
Oh,
do a
photo's
drum
coming.
roll. Do a drum roll. Do a drum roll. Do a drum roll. That's too short of a drum roll. Keep it to drum roll. There we go. Oh, and bam.
That's not you. No.
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 Now put up that picture of James DeBarge.
Definitely.
Put the picture of James DeBarge.
I do not look like James DeBarge.
Now do James DeBarge.
Like James DeBarge.
Wow, come on. I can see you with your little wave nouveau. You know what I'm saying? You had your hair was all black. It was probably a little curly, a little wavy. You know, you put the water in it so it really curl up. I know
Where's
what you were doing.
21-year-old Kamau? I need a picture of that. Where's that?
Oh, the 1-year-old Kamau. I'm gonna get okay. One more drum roll.
21-year-old
We're gonna
Kamau,
get back.
young man.
21-year-old.
We're gonna get back to some news. Then we're gonna get back to some news.
baby pictures. We want to see grown man pictures of Kamau.
Yeah.
Okay, well, drum roll. Then we're gonna get back to some real news.
Law school
Go.
Kamau.
That was me when I was dating Janet Jackson back.
I
in
know.
June.
Oh, right.
So that's not James DeBarge. That's actually me.
That's actually you.
That
Yes,
was actually me, yeah.
I believe that. I'm sold.
Mhm.
See, but James got way more tint than you. But see, maybe you was outside more when you were younger.
Like Jared said, it's fading. It's fading as he got older. Hopefully, I'm not going through the same. Hopefully, I'm not.
That melanin just evaporating over
I don't
50.
think that's what's happening, son. I don't know.
Sure.
Anyway, do y'all have any story y'all want to run?
Not in particular. No, not anything
Okay.
specific.
I do have one. So this one is not. I mean, this one is sad all the way around,
Mhm.
but it also just speaks to something that Lucretia was showing us a little earlier. The ways in which sort of like Blackness is treated through media, in terms of I don't know if I want to say name calling, but in terms of dehumanizing. So this is a New York Post story. So basically, a prison time for Florida teen who beat teacher over Nintendo Switch would be death sentence, the tearful mom says. And so the story, part of the way in which the story reads, I think was part of the reason why Erica suggested the story for us. So the mother of the hulking Florida teen who beat his female teacher unconscious over a Nintendo Switch game video game, claimed prison time would be a death sentence for her convicted son. Lena Deepa pleaded for leniency for her now 18-year-old Brendan Deepa, who faces up to 30 years behind bars for slamming high school teacher Joan, whatever, to the floor before kicking and punching her in the back and head for more than a dozen times. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I'm reacting, but yeah, that's
Oh,
shit.
so it says in the first public appearance since the February beatdown, the grieving mother Wednesday begged Nadich to request that the 6'6" teenager be handed a lighter punishment. I'm so sorry for what my son did, and nobody should ever go through that again, she said on the appearance of News Nation. But at the same time, please consider that my son has had a hard life and he's gone through so much trauma for his life. He has autism. Please show him some mercy. Brendan pleaded guilty last month to beating Nadich over the video game when he was 17, leaving her with 5 broken ribs. The disturbing incident, the teacher's futile attempts to stop the attack, was captured on the school surveillance footage. We're not going to be showing that. And Nadich had previously told News Station that she wants her attacker sentenced to the maximum of 30 years behind bars. I feel like if he gets sentenced to prison, it's a death sentence for him. And I believe this is his mother, obviously, is an adopted mother, who is telling her story about trying to keep the son out. So this is claims to prison time for all the autistics. This is another picture of the young man. Brendan, who grapples with severe autism, ADHD, oppositional defiance disorder, and reactive explosive disorder, was placed in the school by his intensive behavioral group home despite his time at an autism behavioral hospital just 2 years earlier, she said. And I had always homeschooled him because he didn't handle the school environment. I asked the group home, did he have to go to public school? Could he not do school online? And I was assured by them that all of their clients went to public school. I never thought he belonged in public school, blah, blah, blah. And it says that Deepa added that he should have never been near the Nintendo Switch during school hours, and that a crisis team is typically called before professionals take the game away. Nadich said that she had never taken the game away from the teenager, but that he lashed out after another faculty member prohibited him from playing with it. And so obviously a very disturbing story. And what makes it even more disturbing is the caricature of who this young person is, and sort of what should be the outcomes of what should happen after some incident like this takes place.
So when I was younger, like 19, 20, 21, I worked for a company that had a series of group homes set up across the state of Maryland where they would house adults with mental disabilities and some physical disabilities. And one of the homes had a young man who was giant. This kid was so big, like he was every bit of 6'3", 220. He was huge, and he was completely nonverbal. And one of a thought that I would have sometimes of him, what I would be fearful of, I was never fearful of him, but fearful really for him, because if he had been out walking the streets, if he had not, been supervised, someone would look at him and be afraid of him, call the police on him. Who knows what could have happened? And he was not in a position to advocate for himself because he couldn't talk or he was nonverbal. So I look at these kids who are, they're huge, right? And if they lack the ability to communicate or to control their emotions, sometimes they can be dangerous in this respect. But like jail, you can't put this kid in jail
for 30 years.
If he's on, like, he has a mental disability, he has a mental challenge. Like, jail is not appropriate for someone who is severely autistic. But there are a lot of severely autistic people in jail because there is no good healthcare structure in this country to set up to address the needs and the challenges that this community, that this population faces. So the mother is correct. Like this child should not go to jail. I know they did a horrendous thing, but they are not responsible. And I'm curious, Kamal, like how is this child even being tried for this? Like I don't know if the article mentioned any sort of competency hearing or what this child's, mental faculties include, but I'm really confused why this is going through the court system as though he is not a person who is severely
Well, he's
autistic.
17 years old, so they are treating him like an adult with a potential sentence of 30 years in prison. So it seems, and again, I'm alluding from the facts that were given because they did not
Right.
specifically say. But at 17, you will be tried as an adult. It sounds like these are serious, quote unquote, assault charges and more. And if a maximum penalty is 30 years in prison, then they are definitely not considering other kind. At least if that is the one on the table. So, and the teacher is pushing for it. So there is a strong
Oh
possibility
wow.
that if he is convicted, that he will wind up in some prison facility with, as you guys are alluding to, if the schools are not supplying proper, or the district is not supplying proper mental health facilities and work for this child, imagine what's going to happen in prison, right? So the prison system is going to lock this kid away, probably drug him up.
Yes.
Minimal facilities, minimal opportunities, minimal training. It's all about holding them there until he's old, and then potentially letting him go right before he passes away from something, right? So they don't have to deal with that kind of thing. I mean, that's basically what the prison system will do. There won't be anything of largesse to help this person, at least in my opinion, in any significant way. This is, I mean, I think the mother's right that this is basically a death sentence for this person, in a way for society to remove them off of outside lockout, right? Or lockup, or off of general society or general pop, and to lock them away someplace and not, quote unquote, have to deal with them. That's exactly what they're doing.
You know what came to mind? I'm sorry, Lucretia, real quick. You guys remember the case about the white teenager who their lawyer characterized their mental disorder as affluenza? This obscenely wealthy white child who I think killed somebody driving recklessly or drunk. And there was all these considerations given by the court, his attorneys, his psychiatrist was like, no, he's had this life of affluence. He has affluenza. You can't put him in jail. But I mean, what the fuck is affluenza? Some shit that white folks made up, as opposed to all of that long list of credible diagnoses that this young man had. Come on.
Yeah, this is horrific, and this gets me on so many levels because I watched my mom struggle getting my sister the correct education, and she ended up homeschooling her through high school. And I was at some of the meetings as a sibling. We were in sessions, and I worked as a home health aide, and my partner also worked in the schools. And she would come home with stories about how teachers were not following students' IEPs, which are the individualized education plans. Things like the student shouldn't have the phone, but the teacher would give them the phone, for example, and be involved in the situation, like with their parents. And I think also there's this assumption that, especially if you're neurodivergent in any way, that you are somehow intellectually disabled, which is not always true. And there's just, and then don't be tall, as you were saying, Kim, and large, then you immediately need to go to jail and immediately put to death. And it's everywhere. And it's endemic. So I my heart goes out to them, really. Like, it's horrific. And 30 years,
30 years is according to the story, was the maximum, and even 10 years, like 7 years, 5 years. I mean, it's whatever path that could be provided for the young person to have some sense of independence, some sense of normalcy, as much as they can have in their life, will be set back will be set back 10 or 15 years or 20 years or whatever if they lock this person away in an institution. Because again, most likely they're not going to be providing any real support systems for this person. Again, what happened was terrible, of course, even if the teacher made a mistake or whatever. Obviously, no one wants to see anybody pummeled or so forth. But the idea is what is the proper thing to do to make sure that this doesn't happen again, other than basically taking this person and hiding them away from society. There's so many resources that governments have that could be applied to help as much as possible to make sure that this young man has the potential to live as close to a normal life as they can get to. But because every solution for this society is prison, whether it's mental health issues, whether it's homelessness, whatever it is lock people away and not deal with them because they'd rather spend the money on police, on real estate schemes, on weaponry, on everything else. But these are the only solutions that come to mind in America because this is how it's structured.
When is his sentencing scheduled to happen? Soon?
I think it was soon. I think it was like within a month, the next month of that story or whatever.
Okay. This is out of Georgia, Florida. Where was this?
It was in Florida.
Florida. Okay. We'll keep an eye on it to let everybody know what the outcome eventually ends up being.
Okay. Anybody have any other story? I can pull something up.
I sent a story. It's of low seriousness, so I don't know. If you have a more serious story, we can address the more serious story.
Well, this will be our last story, so we can end on something a little less serious.
Okay. This involves the whites, and I know we have some whites with us present. Listen, we need y'all to get on this, okay? This is a task for the white. Yeah, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to all of yous. I know there's plural yous of our white comrades in here. This is something we need y'all to get involved in because it's a level of white on white violence that is completely unacceptable to me as a black person. Okay.
Oh no, this is a tragic tale.
Yeah. Now that clip I think is like 4 minutes and some change. Let's watch like the first 2 minutes and then we can cut it. This is from TMZ reporting the tragic news about this white on white the conflict that is just beyond unacceptable.
Adolescence died when you posted the story this morning. And a big piece of my adulthood died too. Daryl Hall and John Oates are in a dispute. Daryl Hall has actually sued John Oates. He has gotten a restraining order. And let me try to there's a little mystery here about exactly what went wrong, but we know. Let me try to break it down. I'll give you the legal side, and then we're going to talk about the real issue, which is the music side of all of this. So this file is sealed, but here's what I think is going on. The two of them have been in arbitration privately to work out some dispute they're having. That wasn't resolved apparently in arbitration. So Hall went to court and filed in a real courthouse a petition for a restraining order, which he got. And I think what this is about, I don't know for sure, but when they're in arbitration, it would either be about royalties or it would be about Oates' ability to use the songs that they record acts, or use the name Hall & Oates, or use the name Hall & Oates, promoting one of his solo shows. And so I think that's what it was, and I think that's why a restraining order was issued, which is temporary until a judge can work it out. So I think that's the legal side of it. I think that's what's going on because remember the file is sealed. But in any event, it seems like maybe we've seen the last of them performing together. Oh yeah, this is not good.
All right, that's enough. That's enough. That's devastating news. To me personally, because we talking about Hall and Oates. Now, I am a Hall & Oates fan. Hall & Oates is on the list of acts that I've not yet ever seen perform live, and I'm very disappointed in myself that I have never seen Hall & Oates perform live. Last summer, Daryl Hall and John Oates toured separately, which I thought was weird because I said, hey, the people's checking for Hall and Oates, motherfuckers. Ain't nobody checking for Daryl Hall by himself. Ain't nobody checking for John Oates by himself. The people want to see Hall and Oates. Hall and Oates. So, Kamal, you have maybe some legal insight in terms of arbitration and publishing or whatever the fuck. Given off the facts that we heard their reporter on TMZ, do you have any speculative assessment?
Well, the question becomes who owns the name of the band? That's a question. The name of the group is it joint owned? Obviously, in the case of Oates, he didn't sing any songs as the lead singer. So I think the question of him going on tour without John and who is singing those songs, and so then who derives either resources or royalties or permissions granted in order to do that, also becomes an issue. Hall probably can get away, as you know, Hall is probably the writer, if I'm not mistaken, of a lot of the material, and or he obviously was the lead singer in 99% of the material, and of course of 100% of any hits they had. So John Lee needs Oates. John, was it John Oates? John, what's his name?
But Daryl Hall and John.
Daryl needs John less, right? Daryl can go do his thing as a solo artist and sing all those songs because he was the lead singer of those songs. So I think he's being a little, for me, I'm not, obviously I don't know. I think we need to do interviews, in-depth stories.
Well, hold on, but you know those background vocals though, I can't go for that. No, can do. Like the background, like the background vocals is like, the onion, the garlic, and the peppers, the foundation, of the food. Like the background vocals.
Who can't do the background? I mean, do you really recognize his voice, Oates' voice in the backgrounds that much? If you were on a concert and you heard the back, would you?
I don't know who they are, right? I don't know who these people are. No.
You know some song. You make my dreams come true.
Name a song. That one. Okay, yeah. All right.
Sarah Smile. You're a rich girl.
Okay. She may not know Rich Girl. You would know. Have you ever seen the movie Step Brothers with Will Ferrell and John C.
I
Reilly?
avoid Will Ferrell movies. No.
Oh my gosh. Oh, get her off the screen. Get her off.
I've seen them, but listen.
Get her off.
Will Ferrell stresses me out.
What I got, you got, so hard handle. Like a flame.
Okay, all right. Okay.
That's Hall and Oates.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
They had a string of like a decade. At one point, they probably were the number one, light rock band. Yeah, they were like multiple in the 80s before you were born. They were huge. They were huge before you were born. Huge, I tell you. And so for some of us who are old enough, and they were accepted at the picnic, they could come. I don't know any Black person who wouldn't allow Hall and Oates to come, even just for a few minutes, even to grab a plate and leave.
They couldn't bring nothing, but they could
they could come grab a plate and leave. But I don't know anybody who would not allow them, apparently, except for Hiram, who's out of his mind. Hall and Oates were acceptable blue-eyed soul.
Acceptable blue-eyed
soul.
And they always show love. Like they always they had a lot of deference for Black artists. Like it wasn't me and John just came up with this shit. No, me and John Oates was influenced by Gamble and Huff, by Moat. Like they would run all their Black influences down. Like, we stole all this shit from niggas. They was up front with that, but they was white though. You look, and they still sounded like white folks, right? It sounded like white folks trying to do.
That's what a lot of the funk bands had too, right? They had white guys, right? And I was like,
whites, yeah, sprinkled in there,
right.
But I'm devastated to hear this news. So white folks, y'all got to get on this. Y'all, we need y'all to address this, mainly because Daryl Hall and John Oates are not spring chickens out here. Y'all ain't got 10 years to be going back and forth in court. Y'all need to get on the road and get this money today. Okay. Again, ain't nobody checking for Daryl Hall by himself or John Oates by himself.
Wait, Afra says Oates is Italian and Moroccan, undercover brown, like both Wham guys.
You're giving him a lot. You give him a lot. I actually think Dow You know, people. I mean, it's weird because Daryl Hall, who again was the lead singer, the prominent one,
Yes.
did not have a quote unquote successful solo career. Once
No.
that band broke up, no one cared anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he was the front band by far. Like, you know, again, Oates did nothing, but
I
he was
disagree.
part of the background band. He was part of the band.
But then why give them equal billing? Why Hall and Oates if
They're
Daryl didn't
friends.
do nothing?
I mean, I don't. Maybe he did a little something. It was like, yeah, he's like what was it, like the Alex Wrigley of the George of Wham or whatever.
Whoa.
You know what I'm saying? But he's like, it's like that kind of level. It felt like. You know who Wham is, don't you, Lucretia?
I know one song.
What
Mhm.
song?
I don't know. You have to sing it.
Careless
The
whisper.
one Wham,
I don't care what
the
it is.
jumpy one.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
wake me up
yeah.
before you go.
Wake me
That's
up. Yeah.
what- you
Yeah,
know
yeah.
that one. Yeah.
I mean, I think Daryl spent all his money on liquor, but that's another discussion. So.
Who did?
Daryl
Oh.
Hall, the lead singer.
And cocaine.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Like I'm
Yeah.
sure liquor and cocaine. Like,
Yeah.
come on. They was in the 80s. Like, what wasn't they doing, right?
I'm saying, well, that's why he's suing, because he's like, I need all that money for my habits or whatever. Like
And
that.
see, I actually think
Allegedly.
John Oates was writing records because I saw an interview with him where he talked about Man Eater. Whoa, here she comes. Look out
he
for
said he wrote
she'll
that?
chew you up. No, he said that it was about New York City. Like Man Eater was a metaphor for the city of New York. So I just assumed he wrote the shit when he said that. So maybe he didn't write it. Maybe Daryl had told him what Man Eater was written about.
True. Somebody just brought up
Wasn't
Salt
there a
and
black
Pepper.
woman in that video? The man eater one?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Well, I can't remember off here, but I think you're right. I do think
She was the
I
main.
saw. She
Yeah.
might have been the man eater. Yeah. But somebody just brought up like Salt and Pepper and Spinderella, because remember Spinderella, who came in late
Mm-hmm.
to the band, was when they got their big payoff decades later. I think either they sued or something. They wanted to get a big payoff. They barely gave her anything, like Spinderella. Like they basically Salt and Pepper, like we divide all that up amongst ourselves. And I think that also pissed Spinderella off a little bit.
I can imagine so. Yes. Yeah, but see, I think Salt and Pepper's a little bit of a different case because from what I understand, they weren't writing a lot of their music anyway. It was Herbie Love Bug. Yeah. So, but yeah, I need to go back and look at some of the writing credits on some of my favorite Hall & Oates albums. Of course, I can't find writing credits on streaming services because streaming services in the digital age don't seem to think that, credits to songs.
You don't need all that info, bro. You don't need all that info.
What kind of ridiculousness is this? Like, this is why the digital age be falling the fuck down. It's like, I thought this was supposed to be the information age. God damn it! I need to know who mastered this shit, what studio this shit was recorded in, who was playing the. I need to know all the information, and yet in all of its infinite alleged knowledge, the internet don't want to tell me such things in my streaming services, which is bogus.
It's been so long since I go around buying stuff. Like, so is cover album art, even though I know they're not albums, but is cover album art still a big deal? Like, is all that stuff still a big deal for record? Lucretia, you should be able to answer this. The artists you listen to today, you stream?
Yeah.
And none
So
of
the
that
answer
is
is no.
all about the job. All about the
I'm
job.
just looking at the music videos, maybe, but not necessarily the
Cover art. Oh wow, interesting.
Yeah. Well, the record companies keep more. No, look, you.
No, I mean, it's just times are changing, and like my mama and her older relatives tell themselves, "We the old folks now." They go, "We the old folks now." Like, liner notes. Why would anybody want such information about the musicianship and whoever wrote the song and where it was recorded and produced and mastered like that? Why would anybody want to know anything like that? Just listen to the song.
Oh, youngins.
Don't want to know nothing, man. But it's not their fault. I actually don't think that they don't want to know. It's that the digital overlords have determined what is important for you to know. You know what I mean? And apparently, this information about how music is made is not important information, which is wild to me as someone who studied the liner notes. But
yeah, which may be another reason why Hall & Oates are fighting. Who gets credit for what song? I mean, they both got to be. They still, to end up on. They still have to both be making decent money. I would assume, depending if they didn't get screwed over by the record companies. or have made a whole bunch of money in their lifetime. So, so hope they, you never know these things. People sue each other 2-3 years from now. They'll be friends again. They'll do one last tour.
We need a tour. But and to just be clear, they are leaving money on the table. So you guys, my mom's birthday is coming up. My mother's a big fan of Charlie Wilson. Charlie Wilson is coming to the theater at the MGM Casino. Do y'all want to know how much Charlie Wilson wants for his concert tickets? Do you know how much Charlie Wilson? I looked up for best available. Why did I do that? The best available seat for one ticket is $424. For
Charlie Wilson?
For Charlie Wilson, one ticket. One. Charlie Wilson wanted $400 for one ticket. For one, not two. Not
like
two.
80 years old. They're gonna have to wheel him out to perform. He can't can't do rubber or whatever.
See, you mistake.
I love Charlie.
Wilson, I know, but Charlie Wilson is he survived a crack addiction. He's one of the strongest people on earth. You ever seen the crack addicts that are still with us? You can't kill them niggas, okay? Niggas is unfadable. Strong.
Careful. Super strike. Don't say that. No. No.
Right, my bad.
Careful.
No, Charlie Wilson probably ain't got a cane out here. Charlie Wilson's all right. You know what I'm saying? Crack in the 80s did not kill him. Nothing can, shorty.
Well,
he's with
charging $400 a ticket might kill him because I'm not sure who's gonna pay all that.
That's what I'm saying. So I had to tell my mother to temper her expectations. We may not see Charlie Wilson this time around. We may not see Charlie this time around, mama. But my point is, Daryl Hall and John Oates could be running them $400 a ticket type concert prices, and they are leaving money on the table because people would absolutely pay to come out and see Hall and Oates.
Yeah, I don't get what their beef is. Obviously they fighting over money. I mean, what else they got to fight over?
Right. It's that white on white violence that I'm usually here for. In this case, I'm not here for it. I'm not here for it.
So on that note, we've come towards the end of another Remix Morning Show.
Oh boy.
So we did it. Yay! Without the ear doctor.
We did it, Joe.
And it might be like when I press this button at the end of the stream, we might pop back on. So just keep that in mind. Yeah. So just, I apologize for that. I try to time it right, but I don't always make that happen. But we will see you bright and early tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. for another show, the Remix. Are you going to be with us again, Lucretia? How come you only come on? Come on again. Come on tomorrow. Come on.
But you got Ricky for that.
Ricky comes on Wednesdays. Come out.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Okay. Mm-hmm. You can have 4 hosts, 3 hosts.
We can have as many hosts as we want.
She said,
maybe.
See, Lucretia is nice when she comes out the chat. Ricky come with the machete. Ricky be ready. Especially for the
everybody. We need everybody for that. All hands on deck. Yeah.
True indeed.
I know, but Ricky's the main one who likes to check the ear doctor in real time. Unlike everybody else, I think.
It's a skill.
It is like it's she's fast
and much needed. Okay, everybody. So everybody have a great day. See y'all tomorrow. Thank you, Burn It Down. Thank you, Lucretia. And we will be back after tomorrow, not after this. Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Monopolizing the ring, putting cats in their places. I'm royal, call me a king. My crown dripping with amethyst gems and thistle leaves. Rocked up in holy scriptures on yachts, fashion for reeds. Hips layered thick with waist beads. Womb ripe enough to place seeds. I'm spoken for, so fellas take heed. It sounds so bionic, it can make your face bleed. Take it easy, please. I'm a lover, not a fighter, but keep pressing sure that you would turn me to a liar. A small drink of water with a belly full of fire. And if there's any question, you can answer to Messiah. My goal study Sun Tzu, war is art, my art is war. I could give it all, but trust me, less is more. Say you don't wanna fucking try to test them more. Slay a devil with the same hand I bless the poor.
Let me break it down for you again. Baby girl got all the right weaponry. You know I only stand cause I'm truly genuine.
Like your style.
Yeah. Once again, welcome out. This is no other than a Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. Please make sure y'all hit that like button, that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Also go to patreon.com, become a member over over there and get footage that's real. That's how we do it right here on Black Power Media on the Remix Morning Show. Now let's get back to our host with the most.